Well, today I'm going to Dunkirk, and this is a trip that Bernadine took with me many times. I'm just leaving my driveway, and this is 3rd Street, so I'll give you a little bit of a idea of what the village looks like. Bernadine was surprised at the number of houses that are built out of wood here, and I guess where she lives, the houses are all concrete or brick, but over here it's very common to build wooden houses. Alright, so we're going down to the end of this street and we'll turn right on the state highway, and that's the road that'll take us to Dunkirk. Now right across the intersection on the right hand side you can see that big building there. That's the old South Dayton School, and now it's been converted into low-income housing. They remodeled it and made apartments in there. Alright, so this is looking west, and we're going out of the village of South Dayton. And coming up is a caution light, and this is the only one in the whole area. This part of western New York is very rural, as you can see. And coming up next is a little hamlet, and that's the name of it. It's called Hamlet, and it's just a little settlement here. Now in the area there's some very nice homes, and then there's some that aren't quite so nice. So you're going to see a little bit of everything here in this video. Alright, we'll make a right-hand turn here, and now we're on our way. Coming up here, you'll see one of these big wind turbines. There's a big push in New York State for green energy. And this is the fall of the year, so we have some really beautiful colors with those trees. The leaves change color, and then pretty soon they'll fall off from the trees. Now as you look over just the top of the trees there, that's Lake Erie down there. That's one of the Great Lakes. This is a really steep hill right here. Now we come to an intersection, and this is State Route 60. Bernadine will recognize this. And they just engineered this road, made it 3 lanes now. Much safer now. There's an awful lot of traffic on this road. Okay, now we're going by our car wash, the Robo Car Wash, and we're coming into the shopping area of Fredonia, Dunkirk. There's 2 towns right next to each other. Fredonia is a college town, and then Dunkirk's down by the lake. And we'll go around the roundabout here. And once we get past here, that's where all of the stores are and restaurants and so on. On the left there was McDonald's, and there's Burger King. Of course, we had to try those 2 little restaurants out. And now we're going to come down past the Tops grocery store. That's where we did a lot of our grocery shopping, right there at that store. There it is. Okay, now this is the old part of Dunkirk. This is the original city of Dunkirk that I'm traveling through now. This is called Central Avenue, and if you look way down there you see the city of Dunkirk, and it's quite a busy area. A lot of trains go through this area from Cleveland, Ohio up to Buffalo. So next I'll take you down to the lake, and again this is Lake Erie that you'll see. It's one of the Great Lakes. They've done a lot of work here on the pier, And you can drive right out on the pier, and they've rebuilt this whole thing just recently. Really a pretty area down here in Dunkirk. A lot of people come out on the pier to fish, and then during the summertime we have a concert series here, and the band will set up down here on this pier, and then people come down with their lawn chairs and listen to the music. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the Great Lakes. They're the biggest source of fresh water in the world, and there's 5 of these lakes: Lake Ontario, Erie, Huron, Michigan, and Lake Superior. And they cover a vast distance. One time I drove from Buffalo out to Duluth, Minnesota, and that was about 1,100 miles or 1,800 kilometers. So these lakes cover a long distance. They're huge. Right through the center of the lake is the border between the United States and Canada. So to the north is Ontario, Canada, and Quebec, and to the south is New York State, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So you can see how big these lakes are. Now, like I say, I live just south of Buffalo here, about 50 miles south, and I'm about a 30-minute drive to Lake Erie. So it's a beautiful area to live in, and they grow a lot of grapes along the lake here. It's well known for grape growing and lots of wineries and so on. I wanted to mention one more thing. Bernadine and I took that trip from right here where I live, south of Buffalo, up to the Thousand Islands, which is on the St. Lawrence River. That St. Lawrence River empties into the Atlantic Ocean. And so the ocean-going ships can come off from the Atlantic Ocean and up the St. Lawrence River and come down into Lake Ontario here. Now, in order to get around Niagara Falls, because Niagara Falls, the water from Lake Erie goes over the falls and down into Lake Ontario. So a canal was built, this Welland Canal. And this is on the Canadian side here, so the ships can go through this canal. And there's a series of locks and so on that raise these ships up hundreds of feet. And I think it's over 2,000 miles that these ships can travel from the Atlantic Ocean all the way up here to Duluth, Minnesota. So that gives you a little bit of an idea when I talk about Lake Erie being one of the Great Lakes, what that actually amounts to. So right here in Dunkirk, close to me, I oftentimes come down here. Oh, there's a fisherman right there fishing. I oftentimes come down here and just park my car and watch the boats, and even in the wintertime I'll come down. Alright, so here I am headed back home now, and I have to go up quite a hill, and on the lower side towards the lake is where all the grapes are grown. That Great Lakes, they hold that summertime heat, and so it extends the growing season for all these grapes, and that's why there's so many vineyards, and these grapes grown for miles and miles and miles. You'll see these grapes growing. So here we are, almost home, and I live in farm country. There's all the corn that's grown. There's a lot of dairy farms in the area, and it's a beautiful time of year here in western New York.